Afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Hello, hello.
So here we are, another Franchise Friday. We got Mr. Pop and Mr. Lake joining us for our Call of Duty episode. Again, we're going to be breaking this into 2 different weeks. Today we'll be diving into Modern Warfare, multiplayer Warzone. Next week will be Black Ops and Zombies. So yeah, we'll just kind of kick things off. Not really any order we have to go in, and there's not really an agenda to meet. So
I'm still pissed about the way Ghost dies. And how literally everyone dies in the original Modern Warfare game. I'm pissed about it. I'm angry.
We're jumping into the jugular.
We're getting to the main point. Yeah.
I'm still pissed. I'm never gonna forgive them for the way they did everyone dirty in that game. I'm glad. The only moment that made me happy, but it was bittersweet, was when General Shepard.
Yeah,
that's his name. He gets that fucking knife to the face. Fuck him.
Even if you, what I love about the end of that is even if you try to miss it, you still hit him. So like,
I know,
if you throw the knife. Seriously, I've done it before where I'm like, I wonder if I completely miss, and I'll just yeet it way to the left, and the knife just goes straight into his head anyway.
You got that boomerang knife.
Yeah.
It makes me think of Umbrella Academy. I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but there's a character in it. He can control knives. He's like a cooler Hawkeye.
Like
but,
Yandu.
Yeah, exactly. Except he doesn't whistle like a weirdo. No, I love Yandu. I love Yandu. Honestly, if I could whistle, I would want his power, but I can't. It would be, imagine having that power and not being able to whistle. I'm getting off track. All right. Call of Duty. Let's jump into it. We've already established we're all hurt by that game, and we can also throw knives at weird, ridiculous curves. But let's break down the story a bit. What was everyone's favorite moment in the campaigns of either the first Modern Warfare or the second Modern Warfare?
What about the third Modern Warfare?
We don't talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. Third Modern Warfare was good too. I like third Modern Warfare. So okay.
Pop, it kind of sounds like you're liking the third Modern Warfare. Yeah. Is that the one you're kind of leaning towards?
Modern Warfare.
I love the endless waves in the third Modern Warfare. That was one of the funniest things for me in that game. Was like just the nonstop AI bots coming after you, fighting off juggernauts and fucking dogs. That was so cool.
You do what to the dogs?
I fucked them.
I think we had a different Modern Warfare 3, man. I don't remember that.
It's obviously been years since I played Modern Warfare 3. How does that one even end? I don't even remember.
How did that campaign go?
Die. Oh, I thought you were talking about survival. No, I have a funny story about the ending, okay? So it ends as you are Captain Price and you and Yuri. You and Yuri go down to take down Makarov, and you're all jugged up. You're in a juggernaut suit. And it ends by Yuri getting shot, and then you tie a cord around Makarov's neck over a sunroof, like glass ceiling, and then you break the glass, and then you both fall, and then he sits there hanging, just like kicking, and then you smoke a cigar. Fun fact about it,
That's the most macho ending ever. That's such an American answer to that.
The first time I beat it, it was in the living room, and my mom was watching me do it.
Oh, no.
So she watched me hang this guy and then just sit back and smoke a cigar. I looked at her and I was like,
it's okay, Mom. He's the bad guy. Don't worry.
It's not as bad as the airport scene, Mom. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not no Russian. Like that's a scene I've brought up a couple times in previous podcasts, but that's one I do enjoy talking about because it is such a brutal scene. And I've talked about kind of like I don't know a single person who read that prompt and was like, no, I'm not going to play the game I paid for. And then the next thing you know, you're murdering innocent people in an airport, and you're just like, when are the bad guys coming? And then you're like, I am the bad guy. You had an overall bigger mission than that, and I get it. It was kind of explaining how deeply rooted these agents can get placed into positions where they are challenged to do things that are not ethical or moral, but they do what they got to do to accomplish a greater overall mission, which ended up eventually failing, as we all know, because dude was smarter than them. So...
I found it boring, if I'm honest.
You found
No
it boring?
rushing was so boring. You're just sitting. You walk at a snail's pace the whole time. You know, it's fun to just gun down random civilians, but
Okay, first off,
eventually it's just like boring.
Pop, it's not okay to murder innocent civilians.
If they're fake, it's okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. You go from a slow walk to like a half-assed jog.
Yeah.
If you want, but also you're carrying an LMG with hundreds of rounds in it, so that might that's definitely going to slow down your mobility.
I always picked up the pistol from the guards.
Yeah, I like how that.
Bitch.
Okay, and then I will ask this, just for the remastered Modern Warfare, who tried to shoot the baby?
Oh, the kid?
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I
There's
never.
a bit. No, you didn't. Okay.
If you do it, what is it, like 3 or 4 times? Then it like kicks you out of the game, and it's like, that's wrong. Don't do that.
Yeah, quit being a psycho.
Oh, when you have that one guy and it's like the lady holding the baby and you're trying to like intimidate him or whatever.
Yeah, like, and I mean, the fact is they give you the prompt like it's a possibility, but then it fails you for doing it. It's kind of like,
Right.
it's interesting, but it's like, holy shit, what would happen if you did the unethical thing? Like, how would that play out? It's like, I don't know. And that
They have your personal information, and if you shoot the baby, they put you on suicide watch. Somebody shows up to your house the next day.
they put your ass on homicide watch. They ain't worried about you. They would prefer you probably kill yourself. You're trying to murk babies. They put you on kill this guy watch because you're fucking lunatic. But
Another point, another kind of a similar situation in the newest Modern Warfare is, I can't remember what point, but you like go into a room and there's a young kid and his mom, and then the mom tries to pick up a gun and shoot you, and you have to shoot her. So it's like, and I remember I've seen a video of it. That who's this guy? He like walks in, he shoots the mom, and then the kid like is hovering over the mom. He's like, "Oh no, I just created a terrorist." It's like, do I kill him too? Or like, no, I can't do that. But then as he's like leaving the room, he's like, but I'll take his eyes. So he like throws a stun in the room and then leaves. He's like,
take his eyes. Can't be a terrorist if you're blind.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could be a suicide bomber. There'd be a lot of coaching there. All right, we're gonna just drop you off. You just gotta walk a straight line. You can't fuck it up. What way's straight? Oh, fuck. But no, honestly, there's a lot of those weird ethical challenges in those games. Apparently, Pop finds them boring, which is okay.
I find walking
very slow.
boring. That's it.
I guess I look at it as the overarching question about it, the ethics of it, the morality of it overall, to me is what really drew me into that scene, and like how fucked up it was to understand it. But also I do see the way you look at it. You don't dive that deep into it. It's a video game, which is just as well a smart way to look at it too. And how most gamers should look at it, because everyone for a while there used to think video games generated mass murderers, and it's like, nope, that is not the case. I've never met an avid gamer who's like, yeah, I just want to go kill everybody. I mean, they might be out there.
We got Pop. I mean, gunning down civilians.
Pop's harmless, though. Okay, so, but for you guys, what would you say? Like, I know you said you really enjoyed the ending of Modern Warfare 3, Pop. So, what about you, Brandon? What would you say is a really big scene that stood out for you?
I love the mission in MW3 when you're in Pripyat with Price, Soap, and you're playing as Yuri. Or, I mean, all gillied up. I mean, you can't go wrong with all gillied up. Like, any sniper mission, I'm just a fan of. It's so much fun. I mean, picking your targets, like, sneaking around. So, like, in Spec Ops, the winter mission.
Yeah,
MW2.
I was gonna say you really enjoyed that one. I remember you really liked playing that one a lot.
Oh yeah.
Well, because that one was cool to see how many people you could avoid killing too. It was like, how can you sneak through that area without like it almost essentially turns into like a Sam Fisher game. It's like you feel like you're just more stealthily approaching the situation, which is not very common in Call of Duty. That's not really typically the forte when you think about Call of Duty. It's more of a just kill everything in the room and fucking high five and go home for the day. But
you're talking about Cliffhanger?
No. I think it's based off the Cliffhanger mission, but it's like in the Spec Ops.
It's the one where you're in the woods and and you got like the patrols of dogs and stuff coming through. Okay.
I think you have like a suppressed EBR.
Yep.
And
a suppressed USB with a tac knife.
Yeah, and I definitely enjoy that scene too. The snowmobile race thing always fucking pissed me off because for whatever reason I
Mhm.
sucked with the snowmobile. I just ran into every possible thing, no matter how much I tried to avoid it.
Just like real life.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what about you, Colin? What was your standout scene?
It's I don't know. It's probably kind of the one we were just talking about with cliffhanger. It's kind of that one where you have a choice again of either take him out or let him pass. Like of you could try to kill everybody, you can avoid it. So it's just kind of that any campaign mission that gives you options where it's not just a cut and dry where do this or you're going to fail and you have to go back to the last checkpoint where you could literally I think isn't there there's an achievement for cliffhanger going through the entire mission without alerting guards, right? Or having them like sound the alarm or whatever. So like the fact that that's an achievement is it obviously goes to show that it's not something easy to do. And obviously in any game, any campaign mission that goes out of its way to challenge you beyond kind of the main point, it's I don't know. I feel like those are more enjoyable just because it gives you something extra to do, a little extra objective aside from whatever the game is telling you to do. But so yeah, probably cliffhanger just for the Modern Warfare series. I guess
So
I was just thinking for. Well, no, that'd be more of the Black Ops. Call of Duty Ghosts. That's the Black Ops story more, right?
I think Ghost was standalone.
yeah, I think Ghost was kind of its own entity. I think it was. Was it created by Infinity Ward? I thought it was created by Infinity Ward.
It doesn't have zombies.
Yeah.
So
It came out with MW Remastered.
Okay, so yeah, and yeah, it was kind of its own standalone story. I never really jumped into Ghost. I hear a lot of good things about it. I just never.
No,
really
that
got
was
into it.
that was Infinite Warfare. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. But yeah, Ghost was a It was interesting. I played the campaign briefly. I don't really remember too much about it.
campaign was great.
Yeah, the ending
Campaign
when you're
was awesome.
the ending when you're with like the train scene and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah. The
I have
ending
to
to
go.
Ghost
I
was
might have to
dope.
go play it.
Or the flooded city. That's really fun.
Oh, yep. Where literally everything's falling apart around you and you just got to keep moving, otherwise you're going to die.
Yep.
My favorite scenes in Call of Duty games are typically always chase scenes. Like I love the scene where in Modern Warfare 2 you just have to chase that guy down. I don't know why I enjoy those. It just feels so fast paced. It's so fast. It's so exciting to me. It's like holy fuck, I gotta catch this guy. Meanwhile, to me like there's several points where I swear I could have shot him, but you're not. You know what I mean? Like
You're not allowed to.
Yeah, I could shoot him in the leg. He's not gonna run if he doesn't have a leg anymore. But it still was very fun. I love the transitions they go through with that. Like just the whole dynamics of the situation is amazing to me, and I feel like they've executed a lot of. I feel like Call of Duty's always been a win for their storylines. I don't think there's ever really been a flop, and correct me on that. Within the Modern Warfare, I don't talk about the futuristic shit. I don't know if you guys like that or not.
Well, yeah, like Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare would technically fall under this umbrella, but I didn't really care for those. And plus, those are even though they're part of the Warfare series, they're their own storyline because obviously they take place years in the future with different characters and stuff. But yeah, those are definitely my probably two least favorite games Call of Duty did.
Well, yeah, we fall in love with characters like from these ones like Price and Soap and Roach and Ghost, and these are just characters that we learn about. We learn their lives to a degree, and we get attached to them because we've been playing them. And we seeing the betrayals that happen, seeing the deaths that happen. One of the biggest scenes of Modern Warfare 2 is the nuke scene, like when essentially like they just took down the White House pretty much, and they just wrecked that was crazy for me because that's something that's always kind of loomed in the back of my mind. Like what if war was brought to the U.S. soil, and to see it played out in a Call of Duty game was really, really cool to me. It's tragic to see that because you're like you don't ever expect America to fall. We're fucking America, you know. But like to see that displayed in a game was really cool for me. Just move down a suburban street and then you see fucking Russians occupying everything. I found that really.
That's what I liked.
Impressive. Well, go ahead.
That's what I liked about MW3, because you're like seeing the world just collapse on like a giant scale. Like there's this one part where the Eiffel Tower is literally just collapsing and breaking. I thought
after you
that's
catch
probably one of my
Volk.
favorite parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
And then
badass.
there's the like when you're in the city. I think is it Chicago? I'm pretty sure it's Chicago. Isn't Chicago or New York? One of the cities. Like in the
Oh,
first
isn't that how the kind
Black
of
Tuesday.
starts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
starts.
Stock market
Okay,
building.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's probably New York then, huh?
Yeah.
And no, and that I don't know. That to me is just like one of those things I always love to see displayed in games because it's something that I feel like looms in the back of the minds of everybody. Like, oh, what if? Like, kind of just like we don't expect it, but especially anytime soon in our day and age, I don't see America collapsing. But it is interesting, at least not from an external force. But
And I feel like when they bring games to U.S. soil, like how you're talking about Black Tuesday or the part of MW2 where you're by like the Washington Monument at the White House and stuff, I feel like as much as those are eerie points to like for the game to bring out, just because you obviously would hope they never happen, I feel like us as gamers look at those moments and we try to look for the relatability or the accuracy of those moments to be like, oh, I've been there before, or like you know what to expect that they look like, versus like if like, oh, you're in the middle of Russia, they can make that look like whatever it's going to look like. You know what I mean? You're not going to be like, that's not accurate, but like you've never been to Russia, so you don't know what it looks like. But when they bring it to U.S. soil or have that familiarity of a place that you know about that because either you've read about it, you've seen pictures, or you've physically been there, I feel like to have that extra point of relatability, I don't know, just hits a different level for those missions.
I wonder how Russian players feel about this.
Dude, I was just gonna say that. I feel so bad for the Russians.
Yeah,
the
like
Black Ops and the Modern Warfare series, and they're always the bad guys.
yeah. Well, I wonder if like they have their own edition over there where like they play the bad guy. Like, they're like, yeah, fuck America. No, I'm sure that because like they even disclose in the games they're like, this is not an accurate portrayal. This is fictional for that obvious reason because. I mean, and that's the thing too. It's like, I mean, if you even look at it, technically, there's rips at Germany with Nazi zombies, and I know that's a Black Ops related concept, but like, there's always someone that gets shafted, and it's always Team America is always on top with our brother England over there, just fucking bringing in guys like Captain Price, who is just. I love how they portray these joint task force. It's so cool because like. They are based off very realistic units that exist in our current military, and they do a lot of the like. It might be a little bit more romanticized in these games, but there are people out there who do this kind of shit. Like, and to see a video game portrayal of it is really awesome to me. I don't know. Call of Duty is one of those games that I've found to be like. Their campaign's shown out a lot more than I expected. I didn't think a game like Call of Duty would have a good campaign when I first picked up Call of Duty. I was like expecting the multiplayer to be its talking point, and the campaign is always one of those things I fall back to because of how well executed they are.
Unless you're Black Ops 4.
Yes, and
It's
we'll
still
talk
not a
about.
story.
We won't talk about that next week.
I'm gonna be playing Cold War next week, so I don't know what you guys are doing.
Yeah, no, that's kind of why we staggered this way, and it made sense to talk about Modern Warfare this week and then the Black Ops series next Friday because even though it'll be fresh, we've only have played Cold War for less than a day at that point. It'll be a talking point. We'll be able to talk about our first impressions of the game and stuff, and I'm sure Pop will give us the rundown on zombies and. already have figured out all the Easter eggs and stuff, but
You'll be playing while we're doing the episode.
I was just thinking about that actually.
Yeah. Which that'd be an entertaining thing eventually if we get the setup for if we can actually manage to game while we talk would be an interesting way. Like if we could somehow display it like even in a multiplayer match with each other, like while we're just fucking around and talking. It would be an interesting way to approach this podcast. That's something way down the road though when we're not on our shitty computers. Or decent computers. I don't know what you guys have over there.
A $1,000 thing that I use to check my email.
same.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's about it. I bought it for
Take a
school,
test on it once.
and then I dropped out. So now I just,
Same. Well,
Hey,
I
Mike.
use mine for work, so it ended up working out. I use mine like every day for work, but But yeah, shoot, there's a point I was going to bring up, but I forgot it because it was like a couple minutes ago now. But
When Modern Warfare, the newest one, just came out, there was a whole bunch of like backlash because the Russians were the bad guys in it again. I just remember it being on like the news and everything, just because it was they're just so fed up with it.
But here's the thing. Russia makes such good bad guys. Who are we gonna use? Like, they're the one superpower. Like, what are we gonna do? China? Like, I mean, we could do China, but I feel like there'd be a lot more backlash, even so, with China than there would be with Russia. Russia, at least, is like. The thing is, they're kind of like our parallel. They're our parallel in a sense. They're like everything, like what America is not for, and in a lot of ways, like we maintain good relations. Like we have a pretty stable relation with Russia right now, but we are so divided, and it's kind of always been they're that superpower that could probably match us in force for the most part. So it's interesting to see that dynamic displayed in a game. And the thing too is maybe one way they could approach it is not make the characters so outrightly evil. Just have like make them more like they're fighting for a cause, and that's what they usually are. That there's usually a greater purpose of what they're thinking. I kind of call it the Thanos theory, like where they have that mentality about this is for a greater cause, but realistically, there's probably a better way to approach it. And I think Russia is just that good antagonist to America. And I guess maybe like I feel like they display that America is not like this shiny hero, though. If you pay attention to those storylines, like we're gunning down women in those games. Like, yes, they pulled a gun, but like it's not like a, you know what I mean? It's not like we're just white knights out there. War is brutal, and that's one thing that I feel like those games do kind of portray well in their campaigns. It's not 100% black or white. It's our nation versus their nation.
it's funny that you bring that up with Russia always being the bad guy. Is that going to be the case in Cold War too? Because
Yeah, they're like the main bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, I mean, if you're gonna put it
Russian
set in the
American.
Cold War, like you kind of have to.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, though. Russia was like the Cold War is such a cool concept because there was no actual conflicts. There was proxy wars. There was a lot of undercover work. There was so many defectors on both sides. Like there was so much turmoil during the Cold War that kind of gets glanced over. That doesn't really get like. I mean, it's obviously recognized in history. It's just not to the common knowledge of most people. Like I don't even know if most people know what was going on in Laos or like what we were actually endorsing or doing. And actually, a lot of the war on terror is a direct kind of after effect of the Cold War, because that's when America started doing stuff over there, and that's when everything started getting kind of sketchy. And I'm not gonna jump into the history of it all, but I'm excited for it. I am genuinely excited to see it, and I think Russia just needs to kind of accept the role it's played in history. Like, yes, they can get pissed off, but like with Cold War, how are you gonna get pissed? That's just accurate. It was a feud between our countries. It was an arms race, and so that one I feel like will be not met with so much backlash. But I can understand the frustration with Modern Warfare because this is placed in a urban day setting. But like I said, they make good bad guys. Well, like, do they want us to make America the bad guy? They have us play as Russian. I mean, they have helpful Russians in the game. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not like every Russian in that game is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually like an extremist faction, but we're also sort of steering into Black Ops with the Cold War. So
Yeah.
might want to not get sidetracked anymore, Michael.
I forgot we were just talking about that,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well, this is the problem. There's so much to unpack, and it always crosses over too.
Yeah, it
That
does.
So it's kind of hard to just maintain that one talking point, which is
Yeah.
fine because we'll probably touch on stuff about Modern Warfare next week too that will tie into it. But
Yeah.
and if you look at it, even the newest Modern Warfare, like there are scenes where, dude, I'm spacing. Who's the dude who has his leg blown off? I'm spacing.
Alex.
Yeah. Alex outright tells the CIA to fuck off. Like he goes rogue. So it's not like it's America technically. He became a rogue agent, and he's working with the SAS. It's not just America. It's England too. It's you know what I mean? Like there's definitely other nations getting brought into this. And yes, I know Russia's probably frustrated with being the bad guy, but oh well.
I liked the conspiracy theory that people were entertaining for a while. with
Simon Riley was Alex.
Yeah, that
Or
Simon
Ghost.
Riley was Alex,
Yeah.
and like how like there was crossover between how Ghost was a rogue agent, protect his identity. He's been known as different people. Alex kind of fit that criteria as well, and then they basically came out with obviously with the different operators because Alex is an operator and Ghost is an operator. So they kind of established them as two different people. So
I totally believe the theory.
yeah, I
A
mean.
little bit.
From the stuff I've seen, people made really good points about it, and even dove back into like the original Modern Warfare 1, like, and then like 1, 2, and 3, and they're like, oh, there's this correlation, that correlation. This is where Alex might have been at this time when Ghost was here, and like, so it was kind of interesting to watch people put that much time and effort into these conspiracy theories, and they're not more or less just a fun idea to entertain, but there's proof that they could actually exist.
Well, so, go ahead, Bob.
It's not really relating to that. If you have something that relates, you can toss it
Yeah,
out.
so I was just gonna make the point. Like, I kind of like that Simon Riley maintains this enigma status as a character. I don't need to really know. I don't need him to be this fleshed out character because that who he is at his core is he's Ghost. And even in the original, like, you don't really learn much about him when he dies in the original Modern Warfare. You don't know much about him. You just know that he's just badass who wears a ski mask with a ghost or skeletal skull face painted on it. And I don't need him to get fleshed out because I feel like they flesh out all the other characters very well. They establish their storylines. That it's cool to kind of have that operator who just kind of is like represents the clandestine aspect of what these people do. He and I guess it would be interesting maybe eventually down the road, maybe they bring a DLC in or maybe the next Modern Warfare where they kind of like explain what happened to make him go so rogue. Maybe they could even have a predating, something like that, without revealing too much about him. Just kind of like set up a scene where you're playing a character where you don't have an established name, and it kind of goes and it lines up with the background story they give him when you read his bio description. And you just get to play a level of that, and then it just kind of cuts to him in a hospital or something like that, and like it's just he has like a burned face and he wears the ski mask. Because I feel like there's some aspect to him that's injured. That's why he wears the mask all the time too. That's
Maybe he's just a ginger.
Yeah, he probably is. Well, there goes.
But his name is Simon Riley. He's got to be a ginger. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. He wears the mask because he's a ginger.
Makes sense.
That's it. That's all it is.
My face will burn.
Right?
Everyone knows gingers do not.
One thing that I kind of like, I like with the Modern Warfare series and even with the Black Ops series too, just Call of Duty as a whole, is the huge gaps that they leave in the stories. And as frustrating as it is as a gamer, as a person who's following the story and just like appreciating it, it's like, oh, what about this guy? What happened to him before? What's going to happen to him after? Obviously, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, all these developers, they do that on purpose because it gives them an opportunity to have a game come out years down the road that fills that gap. So it's kind of nice as like we're in that age bracket where we've been able to enjoy every Call of Duty appropriately and be able to see the story develop. And obviously, once we get into our later years as older adults, maybe those final pieces will be put together, and maybe 10, 20 years from now, the Black Ops and maybe Modern Warfare series is going to completely stop, and there's going to be a new story that develops.
I'd love to see Call of Duty kind of phase out. I know that sounds terrible, but like, there's only so many stories you can start rolling out that have to do with all of these, clandestine operations or, who's going to be the bad guy. I mean, in the end, like, it's all just going to start blurring together.
What if they made you the bad guy?
That would be great.
Well, this is one thing, and actually, you kind of say that as a joke, but I would like to see a Call of Duty that is kind of emphasized and focused around the idea of homegrown terrorism and it's more like extremist organizations. Imagine like following a task force that even handles the cartel, which I know is covered in different games like Ghost Wildlands, but like Call of Duty is a very broad terminology. You could expand and reach out, and they tried to go into the future with it, which I don't think is necessarily like the right direction. I think there's so many other areas they could lean into that would bring some kind of fresh energy to the industry without having to stray too far from their base, their foundation that they've established. That they could create whole new characters and kind of follow them through what their operations look like and explain how they're different, how they operate on home soil versus overseas.
Call of Duty, Civil War.
Call of Duty, Civil War, 5 seconds, it's over. Martial law is called, everyone gives up. Like, you get maybe 2 militias that get gunned down right away.
Yeah. Call of Duty, Revolutionary War. Just
that would be interesting. A callback to the Revolution.
You're a poor farmer with a double barrel shotgun, and you're melting down your jewelry in one scene, shoving it in.
I think an interesting. I don't know what they would maybe the Gulf War that they dive into, but I think like a completely naval based Call of Duty would be kind of an interesting concept. Obviously, there's missions in Call of Duty as a whole that you're on ships, it's water based, and this is something that Mike and I have talked about in previous episodes with how games rarely use water in their game. Like, it's more of a border a lot of times. You're on land, you get to water. Oh, that's the edge of the map. Got to turn around. Like, you know what I mean? They kind of use water as a border. It's kind of an unexplorable zone. So I feel like it'd be kind of interesting to have a water, like, naval-based Call of Duty game. I think that'd be kind of an interesting concept.
Oh yeah, even
no one likes water. Water levels suck.
Water's scary.
Who plays Mario for the water levels? No one.
All right, Pop.
Suck.
Pop. But here's the thing.
Donkey Kong. It's only fun after you get the swordfish. That's about it.
Water levels, if done right, can be enjoyable, in my opinion. And I think there is a way that you could execute it. It could even be like you start off in a base, like you could start off on like like some kind of carrier, and then you just have like boats that disperse from it, and then there's an island in the middle, and you can be on the island, or you can choose to skirt around the island, which is more Battlefield-esque. I know that's what Battlefield just kind of covers, and if you want more of that, you can jump into Battlefield. I feel like that's a big counter-argument, but it would be interesting to see how Call of Duty presents it.
I have an idea. Collin,
I would love to hear it.
I was just thinking about this the other day. You remember back in the Fortnite days? Floor is lava? How many times did me and you do all that? Just play it nonstop?
Yeah.
Remember how much fun that was?
Yeah.
That, but in Call of Duty. You're on a ship and like, maybe put sharks in water or something. I don't know. But you can like take over their ship or something, and you have to like work on your ship like how we would work on our base, you know? And then we would go and take over other people's bases.
Or
that sounds like it could be more of a like a wars like a war zone
style, yeah.
Like what I'm trying to think, like an extra mode.
I already got you. It's like the armored trucks, but with boats. So you can have the armored boats, and if your boat gets destroyed, you can survive. You're in the water, but like you said, there's sharks in the water, and then you can actually have water-based mines. There'll be torpedoes, stuff like that, and you can have a big boat, and then you can have little boats that shoot out, or jet skis, and it could be an interesting way to play it. And you got to keep your boat essentially alive, otherwise you're eliminated from the game.
Like a baby when Lee dies in The Walking Dead, though. I mean, I straight like sniveled in my room.
I feel that. I cried when Yondu died. Like, literally, I've seen that movie about 15 times. I will still cry when Yondu dies.
I get choked up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. When Craiglin does yeah! When the lights are going off, oh, it's getting me. It's getting me just thinking about it. I can't. I'd cry when Soap died. I cried a lot. I'm like 5 years younger than you guys, so picture you guys at that age, but then me 5 years younger.
I guess that's fair. I was kind of in that like late middle school, early high school stage. So I was still figuring out myself puberty wise. So I guess, but
I'm so sad. I'm just gonna rub one out.
Pretty much. Yeah, we could kind of wrap things up here. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I just didn't want to end the episode with
I'm not doing nothing.
Us in the middle of
I do have to finish getting ready to go. So,
where are you going?
Eau Claire.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm also playing Fallout 4. I just got a blazing rolling pin.
Nice.
Oh,
You make some bread without even having to cook it.
damn straight. Okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right, Colin.
attention.
Yeah, no, you guys are good.
Kaboosing.
I was just we can kind of just wrap things up. I mean, I feel like we talked about a decent amount about the storyline. I guess one of the two other things we kind of wanted to touch on that we didn't yet was like the multiplayer and Warzone. Just as a whole, we can kind of briefly wrap up with that. So I guess it's kind of hard to pick a multiplayer that was better than another, but also I could be wrong. Is there like a multiplayer that stuck out to you guys, I guess, over the years that you liked more than others?
I never really played MW2 multiplayer.
Toxic.
I know.
Very
I know.
toxic.
But I did play a lot of MW3 and COD 4. And I'd say I like them both equally. But if we're talking about Black Ops, different story. But we're not.
That,
we're not.
Save your feelings for next Friday, Pop. We'll get to that.
Oh, I will.
I don't know.
I mean, as a whole, every multiplayer has been pretty much the same. I mean, the campaigns are really where the diversity is in the game. You don't get Call of Duty and be like, oh, I can't wait to see what's different about the multiplayer this year, because guess what? There really isn't going to be anything different. Aside from,
newest one.
What do you mean?
The newest Modern Warfare is super different.
Yeah,
Well-
it is. That's a lot different, but
Yeah. But I guess between like like the original Modern Warfare and then 1, 2, and then 2 and 3, those are all pretty well like similar. Obviously, they get
I'd
different
have to
over the years.
disagree with you there, Chan.
Well, I mean, obviously they're different because they're years apart. So the graphics, the things that they add to the game, they're all there's little variations here and there. But like you're not gonna play a multiplayer from 10 years ago versus today and be like, oh, these are two completely different games. But I don't know. I guess what were you gonna say, Pop? As far as like what's different about the
the COD
multiplayer?
4 multiplayer, it's like bare bones. There's not much to. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but there's not much there. There's guns without even any attachments.
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
3 kill streaks. Can't even customize them. What's up with that? 2 snipers. Maybe. No, there's a lot. Never mind. Yeah, there is. There's only 2 snipers. No, there's 3. 4? There's
you
the
sure you
Barrett.
want to keep talking about this?
There's the Barrett. There's the M40, right? R700. Whatever. But there's like no attachments. You can put a sight and an attachment if you're lucky. You know,
Yeah.
that's about it.
But also attachments aren't like in older Call of Duties. Like Modern Warfare was the first one that I can recall that the customizability of your loadouts really became a thing.
When they had pick 10 back in BO2 and BO3.
Yeah.
Ever pick 10?
Pick 10?
So you had 10 slots in your class, okay?
Yeah.
You could fill those 10 slots with a gun, a secondary, 3 attachments on your primary, a perk, and then your 5 slots already gone. So you could choose if you wanted to be all perked out and then only have like 1 primary with a few attachments on it, or you could put wild cards on and add more attachment slots to your primary, but the wild cards would take a slot. So then you'd be taking up 2 slots with the wild card and the attachments. So you could just have 1 primary gun that's fully kitted out with like 6 attachments on it, but that's it. No perks, no nothing, no tacticals. Those counted too.
Oh yeah, I forget about that.
So I'd say that is even more customizable than Modern Warfare. Why are you giggling?
The Snapple.
The
It's good.
Snapple drinks. It's funny.
Raspberry. Not my favorite, but I don't complain.
Snapple Apple's got to take the cake for me on that.
I'd
In that
say
department.
so too. Yeah. I like the mango too, but such is life.
As a in a different but very similar avenue, Warzone. I guess what does your guys feel about Warzone? Either just as the multiplayer feel to it, and even like where it compares to other battle royales. What's kind of your takeaway from Warzone?
I hate it. I hate
enjoy it.
every battle royale. What is it about battle royales that I get just this giant red X painted on my back, and I'm going to be the one that gets shot?
I don't know if it has something to do with your build. Like you're typically a support build. Like you're the support guy. So I don't know if people just pick that out as in like a group of people as, oh, that guy's super aggressive. I don't want to fuck with him. I'm gonna fuck with the guy that's sitting back in a bush with a sniper and playing support.
It's like all of a sudden I'm the one getting shot. Like three of us could cross a field, and then here I come moseying on through, and I'm the one that gets picked out. Like whether I be like the one in back, the one in front, or like somewhere in the middle. It's like it's always me. Been that way from Fortnite to Blackout to like Warzone. It's just, I mean, I do have a lot of fun playing it though. Like it fits. It fits a different type of game mode than multiplayer, so it is a lot more fun. But it irks me.
I like Warzone because you can buy your friends back. And it's like, so then you can, and everyone else is buying back. So there's just a lot more people and a lot more fighting. And there's a lot less of a risk. Because if you die, it's just $4,000 you can get back. So you can push more people. And I don't know, your teammates will be mad at you. But
Yeah.
that's about it. It's $4,000 and then you're good.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely my favorite battle royale that I've ever played. Because I mean, I've played Fortnite, Apex, PUBG, Blackout, Warzone,
Nuclear Winter.
Yeah, Nuclear Winter. That's
I played 2 games of that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's different, but
we played 2 games of that. One of them, it nuked the entire map. There was literally nothing we could do. I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm not playing this. You know, they added a ghillie suit to Fallout, where you could literally wear a ghillie suit. Only way to get it was playing Nuclear Winter.
Oh.
It was like the last tier. I was like, I don't care. It's a cool ghillie suit, but I'm not doing it.
Yikes.
Did you guys? I know the answer to it, but you prefer Warzone over Blackout.
100%, which kind of scares.
Tell you why that's wrong.
Which kind of scares me for Cold War because the beta, that Dirty Bomb game mode, had a very battle royale feel to it because you drop out of the sky. There's you can get knocked. Your teammates have to pick you up, so it had a very battle royale feel to it. And just the feel of it reminded me a lot of Blackout, which I didn't hate Blackout, but it definitely comes lower at the list of battle royales for me.
Let me just tell you something about Verdansk, all right? It's trash. Ooh, Verdansk sucks. Can we all be straight here? Who likes
You're just
Verdansk?
mad because you can't go to the lighthouse and kill the zombies there.
Who likes Verdansk?
There's parts of the map
It's just
I like.
some city. I mean, there's the Gulag. That's about it. Gulag and Dam. Otherwise, it's just some rundown city or some open fields. But let's look at Blackout now. Oh my goodness. Blackout has the most beautiful map I've ever seen. Verdansk is what? It's gray. Gray and green. But Blackout is so vibrant. The colors are so beautiful. And you're walking around all the best places out of the entire Black Ops series. You've got Diner. You've got firing range. You've got literally everything all compressed into one nice, beautiful map. Some places have zombies even. That's like the best part. You could kill zombies, get rewards. It was so much fun. And you guys hate on it way too much.
I didn't really play it a lot.
So I will agree with you there. I did like the map just because of the fact that it had like some of your like the most iconic maps throughout Call of Duty scattered throughout the map as a whole that you could land there. You could rotate through there. You could just kind of get that nostalgic feel of going through those parts of the map. I just didn't. I don't know, the game as a whole, just the mechanics, the feel of it, it just threw me off. But also, Black Ops 4, I wasn't one of my favorites either. So I don't know.
I loved picking up attachments. I'm gonna say it. Warzone takes the fun out of it. You can just spawn in a gun with fully attachments. I liked going on the ground. Ooh, dude, I got fast mags. I got a 4x scope. Hey, you got a sniper? You want this 4x? Yeah, it's the best. Doesn't get better.
I just didn't really play Blackout a lot, so I guess I shouldn't really weigh in on it since I didn't play it. But
I didn't play it a ton either. I probably played like a max of 100 games, somewhere between 50 and 100 matches.
I don't think I played 10.
Oh,
Yeah, but
I hate
like
to see it.
I've played thousands of matches of Warzone though, so it's like comparing Blackout to Warzone. It's hard to weigh in on Blackout and give XYZ reasons of, oh, I hated this about it, I hated that about it. It was just the feel of it that I didn't really care for. But also, like I said, the multiplayer just kind of was for me. The campaign was good. I've liked every campaign. I've never complained, or I don't have anything to complain about any of the campaigns that ever existed, but there's just some multiplayers that are better than others. Obviously, some zombies that are better than others, but that's just kind of my 2 cents about it. And I could see the smoke coming out of Pop's ears, so I'm going to let him.
For why?
BO4 didn't have a campaign.
BO4 didn't have a campaign. It had a story, but not a campaign.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of BO3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I keep thinking. Yeah, a lot of times when I think about why I didn't like BO4 or BO3, I cross them over with each other, and I forget about that.
BO3, it tried something new. And I, for one, liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, we could just play the same thing, like you were saying before, Lake, you know? But to be, like, going into mines and you have a robotic arm that can, like, hack and, like, take over, but there's this whole, like, Inception level where you're kind of, like, what is actually going on? You kind of have to piece together, and it's just, like, it had a BO1, BO2 feel for me, where you're playing as Mason and you don't like know what's going on, like Reznov, what's happening. Kind of have to figure it out as you play it. You know, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It didn't have a good payoff though. If it had a good payoff, I think it would have definitely
The payoff
been a lot better.
The end was weird, but we should probably talk about that next week, huh? Well, I won't be back for next week. I guess
That's fine.
I'll be working, so.
But I guess, are there any other points you guys wanted to touch on? Otherwise, we can kind of wrap things up here.
Make Verdansk pretty.
Make
what I
Verdansk-
asked.
Well,
Give it some snow.
there's like 5
Give
days
it some
left.
snow.
There's like 5 days left, Pop, and then we get to enjoy whatever Cold War is bringing us.
Well, we don't
It's
get
still
to
just gonna be
enjoy
Warzone.
all of it because of PlayStation.
Yeah.
What does PlayStation get
F.
again? Exclusive to?
F in the chat. No, there's a zombie
What
mode
game
that's
mode
coming
is it?
out.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it,
it's an extra zombie mode. That's right.
You play in the multiplayer maps, and there's
Yeah.
like a rotating circle that goes around the map that you have to stay in.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun, but I won't play it.
Yeah, it's gonna kill the game mode, I think. Just like how Survival never picked up for Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
That year of exclusivity, it just kills all excitement for it. And then when it finally comes, you're like, well,
The next game's here. You forget
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
I could understand like a 3-month or a 4-month exclusivity rights. Right? You're giving them like that little bit of time that it's like it's all private. There should still be enough hype to where you would be able to come in after that time and you'd still be, like expecting it and like waiting for it. But I'm just not a fan of those deals in general either. So
Yeah.
I'm just glad that we're going to be getting everything for free and on time, like at the same time.
yeah.
Like all the zombies maps are going to be free. There are going to be a lot of zombie maps from what they say, allegedly.
That's cool how it's going to be cross-platform zombies too.
Did you guys see the Nuketown preview?
I have not.
they released a roadmap for the next like couple months. They're bringing Nuketown in December, and it looks neat.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. BO4 had a good Nuketown. That's all I got. Oh, hey! You ever need someone to just drop some little nuggets of BO4 praise? I got you, baby. I got you.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good spot to kind of stop. So, thanks for helping make things interesting as always.